won't stop till the wind's all mine and I'm standing on the top of my goals. I won't quit till the goals raise high and I triumph in the face of my foes. I won't stop. I know it's gonna take a lot of pain just to see the game.
Ok, ya estamos en. Yo te aviso, pero ya está en YouTube. Voy a empezar a compartirlo.
Va, igual yo lo voy a compartir por acá. Ahí está. Sorry.
I won't stop till the wind's all mine and I'm standing on the top of my goals. I won't quit till the goals raise high and I triumph in the face of my foes. I know it's gonna take a lot of pain just to see the game, but I promise that I won't quit till the winners be crowned. Yeah, I swear I feel this right in my soul. I won't stop.
Ok, ya te hice tag.
I won't stop till the my goal. I won't quit till the goals raise high and I triumph in the face of my foes. I know it's gonna take a lot of pain just to see the game, but I promise that I won't quit till the winners be crowned. Yeah, I swear I feel this right in my soul. I won't stop.
Ok, en 2 minutos nos arrancamos. Ya está streaming. I won't stop till the wind's all mine and I'm standing on the top of my goal. I won't quit till the goals raise high and I triumph in the face of my foes. I know it's gonna take a lot of pain just to see the game, but I promise that I won't quit till the winners be crowned. Yeah, I swear I feel this right in my soul. I won't stop.
El evento.
Unos 30 segundos.
And I won't stop till the wind's all mine and I'm standing on the top of my goals. I won't quit till the goals raise high and I triumph in the face of my foes.
All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beto Gurmilan Live, episode 2. Hopefully, a much better version of the show. If you joined us last time, there was a rough start to the show on Friday. But today, Friday, second week of in a row of the show. And today we got a really awesome guest, really special guest, somebody that's a friend of the Gurmilan Foundation, a friend of the family as well. We got Giuliana, an awesome artist here in the region, San Diego, Tijuana, with awesome music, very powerful music. And today she's here to share a little bit of her story, a little bit about her music and her powerful message. Giuliana, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm doing great. I mean, at home, but overall, doing good. Trying to write some music, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your invitation. But yeah, doing good.
Awesome. Well, I got to ask you the question because right now, obviously, everybody's sheltering in place with what's going on in the world, and obviously, this is a great opportunity to just share with other people what we're doing. But what are you doing right now as all this is unfolding? Out there with the pandemic and stuff.
So I'm doing a lot of live streams. I'm trying to though, still learning. Trying to write music. Honestly, I'm not that inspired. I wish I was that inspired, but it's just like I kind of like get stuck. But I think everybody is dealing with it like differently. Overall, I'm trying to like well, I'm with my family, thank God, and we are really close. So every day is like drinking coffee in the morning, and I really appreciate that. I think it's a blessing. And overall, like playing board games. We've done a few things. Yeah, and trying not to like get so like
Caught
soaked
up.
by the news and all of that.
Mhm.
Trying to stay positive overall.
Awesome. Have you found that? Because I one of the things that I've noticed is that I don't know if my family and if because I'm spending a lot of time with mom, dad, and my sisters from out of town. But have you found that just you're maybe cherishing a little bit more the time you spend with your family
For
during this time?
sure. For sure. Yeah, my brother had been well, it's I think like it was over a year. He was living in Carlsbad, and he used to like visit us like probably once a month or something like that. And we are super close. So I think that is one of the things that I really appreciate right now, that I've been able to like be that close as we used to. And he's also into he's a musical theater actor, so we kind of like we watch movies, we try to collaborate, and like he's writing his songs, and in that way I think I am getting inspired in some way. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I think we're not used to like being all together at home though,
Mhm.
but overall we try to make the best out of it.
So obviously, family and your friends is a very important part. And before I get into a little bit of your background story, because I want to talk about your a little bit of your childhood and where that passion for music came from, but I just want to say that we got a lot of people connecting on YouTube. I want to say hi to Joaquin Elizondo. Joaquin, what's up, buddy? Hope everything is good in LA. Gochi Music says, love your jacket.
Ah,
Somebody
thank
loves your
you.
jacket.
Gachi.
And
Saludos.
we got Forever HD. Hey, do me a favor, if you guys are able to share on your social media, let's bring as much awareness to the awesome talent that Giuliana is. Let's share it on social media. And leave your questions up there on the comments as well, because we're gonna get into questions in a little bit, and we're hopefully, well, we're gonna get into some music as well, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Awesome. So let me get into a little bit of your background, Juliana. Where you grew up, and tell us a little bit of your background and your family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was born in San Diego, but grew up in TJ. I'm from Tijuana, like all the way. Um I pretty much went to school all the way till ninth grade in Tijuana, and then we went to live 10th grade. I like pretty much high school and on up until college. I lived the first 3 years of high school in not first, sorry, the last three, um, in San Diego in Chula Vista, and then I stayed in college. My first year, I lived over there, and then pretty much came back, but still was like
Back and
uh,
forth.
back and forth, yeah, and still up to today. Kind of like, I get the best of both worlds. What else? As far as my music, pretty much I started like at 13. I was like a very shy girl, like probably like all my childhood. I was like super shy. If I sang or if I did something artistic, I got like super, I don't know, like my brother, I remember he used to like tell me like, oh, you have a great voice, and I was like, no, don't, like, don't tell me
Don't
this.
tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't hear me. And then pretty much when I started taking lessons, guitar lessons, that's what gave me the confidence to start singing and pretty much to start writing songs, because I remember that was like my favorite thing overall, like not only singing or playing guitar, but just like the art, the craft of songwriting. And since I started writing, I decided like this is my thing. Yeah, and that's pretty much how everything started. Obviously it was like a huge step to like find gigs, and in that, like at 13, 14, it's when I went to live to the US. So it was like that transition, and I kind of find my, like, music was my, the I don't know, like my, how do you say it, like refugio,
Your
like,
escape.
yeah, my escape overall, because there was like this, I don't know, like I couldn't find my place in high school too, so it was like music was, yeah, especially my
So
escape.
definitely high school. High school is definitely a difficult time I think for all of us. Some people
For
do very
sure.
well in high school. Some of us might not do very well. But going back a little bit, so you were in love with the writing aspects of music. Um, were you also as in love with the performance part of it, or was that a little bit harder to get into for you?
It was a little bit harder, because of that, because I never had stage fright, but I was shy. And then when I got into into the stage, it was like everything just like disappeared. Like I could like sort of perform. I wasn't a good performer, but I mean at 13, 14. And
You're learning.
then it kind of, yeah, like I just like felt, I don't want to say another person, but it just, like it was like a flow that I found on stage. And then I learned, like I started to get into performance and how could I do better on that. And actually up until probably 3 or 4 years ago, I started taking, I mean, I kind of learned on the go, uh, but like 4 years ago I started classes, and that really really like helped me discover like my kind of performance on stage. And I'm still learning. It's something that I think you always, um, you're always growing on that. But it was like a big step, I think, for me to just like explore who I wanted to be on stage.
Right. So you were growing as a person and as an artist. What was the moment? I'm sure you felt that you wanted to head in that direction, but did you ever have a moment where you finally said, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go 100%. I'm all in.
Hmm. So probably, I mean, I always knew that it was music, but I did like explore like other like um aspects of it. I remember when I graduated from high school, like I always knew it was music, but when I graduated high school, I was like, I'm gonna study communication, and then I get into the music business. And then I kind of like understood that as a performance, I mean, you have to know everything as an artist, and especially as an independent artist. But overall, I was always like trying to, like have like a degree, a regular, like a normal
Hmm.
person degree. And yeah, I like fell into communication and marketing, which I think that really helped me. I applied it, yeah, to
Sure,
to
correct.
my to my business technically, but still, like I kept going till I was in SDSU studying marketing, and I felt super depressed because it was not going good for me. And a lot was it that I had to like pick between either study for a test or like open for like a huge artist in TJ. So it was like a lot of decisions like that I was like, it's always going to be the music. It's always going to be like being on stage, sharing my music, and I won't be able to like, get it like full into at least the school I was in and in business, because overall I love the marketing aspect of business, but it's business at the end of the day. Like you have to like
Yes.
do the accounting, the calculus, and all of that. And I was like, this is not for me. So at that point, I was like, no, like it has to be the music, and this is the moment. And if I don't do it right now, it's just gonna be like, like I'm always gonna try to be like in both uh, things at the same time, and it's just not going to be enough. So that was the point probably that I was like, yeah, it's all in.
Did you have? I know when we make difficult decisions like that, will impact our future. Our future.
Mhm.
We have external forces sometimes pulling, side to side. Family, maybe boyfriend, or loved ones, or maybe financial or whatever. Did
For
you
sure.
did you have multiple things making it difficult for you? And did you had? I mean, what kind of support did you have from those around you?
For sure. My family was always really, really supportive, but I think, I don't know if it was like a social thing that you're like, with me, like my friends were going through the same, like, like you go to high school, and then going into college, in 4 years you're graduating. And in my case, I started at community college, and I made it kind of like, I don't know, like it was a longer process, and I was like, I do have to make, I have to have a degree. I was always like, I grew up with that kind of structure. So it was always on me. My parents were really supportive of what I wanted. Obviously, being Mexican, I think it's also a thing that, you have to have, your career will give you a job and stuff like that. But it wasn't me. At the end of the day, it was like, obviously there was a, like, I don't know, like a social pressure to do it, but um yeah, having the support of my family was, I think, it was also like a huge blessing overall, because I know that I'll, like, most of the times it's the other way around. And I did finish like an associate degree. I was like, I'm gonna finish the associate degree just because I've been here all this
Yeah,
time.
might as well complete that.
Might as well, yeah. And but yeah, overall, I think it was on me, like just like having the courage of saying, like, like, this is what I want to do. Although I didn't knew it, I thought I could balance it out. And the thing was like, no, it's like, it's the moment to do it.
Correct. So if you're just joining us, we have Giuliana with us, upcoming artist, actually an artist, not even upcoming. You're already well established. You're past that upcoming part, I think, and you're doing so great in the region and elsewhere internationally. But just want to say hi to some people that are joining us on the live stream. Beats for Life Radio. How's it going? Thank you for sharing our Facebook, our stream on Facebook, and also go ahead, Beats for Life. Go ahead and ask your question, and we can get that to that in a minute. But also want to say hello. Who else is here? Joaquin again. Hey, what's up, man? So we're gonna get a little bit more into Giuliana's music in a second, and to a live performance. So hang in there with us. Want to thank you guys for joining us. But we've been talking about a little bit of your background, a little bit of your experience in terms of your growth in music. And by the time you were, making that choice, that decision, you already had some influences. You already or were you already building kind of like your style and the type of music that you wanted to play?
Yeah, sort of. I think I'm always like, I'm constantly like trying to listen and just like soaking in everything that happens in the music industry. I'm a huge fan of pop music. And I think I was like, as far as like influenced my music, I grew up with like, well, I don't know, like the time when I started playing guitar and like trying to sing and like the biggest thing here, at least in Mexico, was like like Jesse and Joy, Rake, Sin Bandera, Camila. So that kind of ballad, I think it was like a huge influence. And also like I grew up with like my brother is a huge fan of Disney, and me also. So I love that kind of like sort of musical theater-ish music that tells stories. So I think, yeah, like that was like the main. And then I started discovering way more music, Sarah Bareilles, obviously I think, although I grew up with those ballads that I tell you, like the biggest, I listened to more American music than Mexican. And I think that was, and it still is, like I'm, well, in exception of Rosalia or something like that, most of the music that I listen is in like pop in English. And
so it's almost like a fusion, right? It's a fusion of your original, and then you bring in little details. Because I've noticed that in your music,
sure.
you bring some from, other styles, and I think you have a pretty awesome style and very unique. Especially, and I want to talk about a little bit about the message that you have in your music, but moving forward. From the moment you made that decision to go full on with music, what have been the major challenges that you faced, as you grow as a musician, and maybe some of the things that you've discovered in the process?
Yeah, I think we're always facing like new challenges, like right now. Like this is a huge, I think it's just like it's gonna change the whole industry, well, the whole world, but in the industry, it's just gonna, it's I don't know what's going to happen, as far as I wish that it would all come back to normal, but I don't know, honestly. As far as like what big challenges, I think it was one of the biggest was that, like, deciding to just go on full on it. And I think I've been always like, I'm like, I always try to research how to like get over, or just like, find out a way to, like, let's say when I did started recording my original productions, I was like, how do I put it on whatever, like Spotify or platforms. And I'm always like a fan of like just like researching and just like doing it by myself. And as an independent artist, I think that the biggest challenge is that, like, you have the tools to do it, but it is like you're alone in the world. Like everybody's trying to do the same. So it's just like getting out there and trying to get this, not discovered by like a huge like label. I mean, I wish that that would be the case, but mostly by the people. Like you want to, like put it out there, and the biggest challenge is like, how will I like get to that? How will I get the exposure or the radio? Like all of that. And I think I I mean, at the beginning it was like I thought, oh, like I put a song out there and then I don't know, like it'll get the views or I'll just promo it. And at the end of the day, you end up discovering that it's like one and then the other, and then you just have to put the music out there.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get it into platforms. I've had like a lot of people that have helped me, especially a shout out to Becky, that she has like in the past year, like she has put me out there, and that's I think the most important thing. But overall, finding those people that really want to support you, because obviously there's a lot of people that want to do the opposite, and although you want, I mean, in like the buena fe, o sea, in good faith, like you want to do everything right, but a lot of people do like tell you, oh no, like your music is not like this, or you don't fit in a box, so it's not sellable or whatever. So it's just like a constant challenge as far as like, like trusting your gut and the message you want to portray. And as far as like also like last year, I think was one of those years that I've been really proud of the songs that I've like put out there, and also about the message, because I remember when I was like growing up, one of the like like probably the artists that I mostly admired had like this kind of like social, calling. I don't know. I don't know if you say it like that,
Yeah.
but it
Music,
just like
music with a
inspired me
message.
to that. Yeah, music with a message, or like being leaders, and if the music was not telling a message, at least they did with their actions.
Awesome. So let me, we have just a quick question. I guess it's about your technical or what you prefer. Somebody's asking, Beats for Life asking if you prefer Logic, Pro Tools, or Alberton to edit, I
Ableton.
guess to edit.
Oh yeah, for music production.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like I am right now going into production. I'm not a producer yet. I wish I was. I'm going to get there though. That's one of my goals. But right now I'm in between Ableton and Logic
Mhm.
as far as production softwares. And yeah, but it's one of those things that I want to get way more into it. And I know like the basic stuff, and I
Mhm.
try to get into it, but it's just like I think that there's people out there that it's way easier for them, but
Right.
it's also a craft that you have
Yeah.
to like constantly work on. So
I remember using Pro Tools, but I'm old.
oh yeah, Pro Tools is not
It's been
for
around
me.
forever.
It's like, but like right now, like I used to have it, and then I opened it and I was like, nope,
Ah,
never mind.
yeah,
I'll just go back to GarageBand.
yeah, well, that's a good thing that now we have so many tools, just like streaming and everything that we're doing. I mean, it's so much easier. So, again, I want to thank everybody that's joining us, and thanks for the questions on YouTube. So, if you can go on YouTube, you can post your questions there, and we'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. You mentioned that one of the things that was hard was putting your music out there so that more people would see it. How about we do that right now? And maybe if you have a song in mind, you can share it with us. And
For
hopefully,
sure.
people out there that are right now, I'll let you set up. And people that are out there, thank you for joining us. It's Beto Gurmilan Live, second episode, much better technically than last week. So if you joined us last week, thank you for coming back and watching this. Again, we have Giuliana, an awesome artist here from the region, San Diego and Tijuana. And she's gonna right now perform for us live on YouTube, Facebook, and all the streaming platforms that you can find this. And we'll give it up to you. Go ahead, Giuliana.
Yeah, I don't know what song to sing though. I'm like,
How
ooh.
about how about give us one of the earlier songs that you prefer from your repertoire?
Yeah, I'm like,
I want you to do No Soy Tu Baby at the end, because I think
For
that's
sure.
an
Yeah,
awesome
because that's
song.
the newest one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing Ven Amor. It's
Awesome.
like a very hopeful song that I always start
Awesome.
my concerts with. No busco una estrella de cristal. La perfección no es necesidad. Una sonrisa vale más de 1000 palabras. Y si te encuentro solo, dame esa señal. No sé si hay un camino que seguir. No sé cuándo te pueda percibir. Si yo te tengo que esperar aquí, aquí será donde haré todo por ti. Y ven, amor, yo no te tengo miedo. Enseña tu color, que quiero conocerlo. Y ven, amor, tú vives mi deseo, mi corazón. Y quiero encenderlo. Empiezo a no poder escuchar la voz interna de mi inseguridad. Tu esperanza ha llenado de paz mi entorno y mi fragilidad. Si me enseñas el secreto de amar, te amaré con toda mi alma y sin dudar. Los besos para ti no bastarán, pues lo que tenga en mis manos se voy a dar. Y ven, amor, yo no te tengo miedo. Enseña tu color, que quiero conocerlo. Y ven, amor, tú vives mi deseo, mi corazón, que quiero encenderlo. Amor, yo no te tengo miedo. Enseña tu color, que quiero conocerlo. Y ven, amor, tú vives mi deseo. Quiero encenderlo, yo quiero encenderlo, yo quiero encenderlo.
Woo! Bravo. I wish we had an audience. We need an audience.
I
Ocupamos
know.
un auditorio aquí. Awesome, awesome.
Or like
A
a
lot
thing
of
that,
emotion. Good.
like a but.
Oh, we lost you for a little bit. I think you're coming back in a couple of seconds. It's been going on, but awesome, awesome, awesome music. Giuliana, what is it that I lost you there for a second, but you're back. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Where do you draw inspiration from past experiences, from past love, or where do you, when you write, where does it come from?
Probably everything. Obviously, yeah, like liking somebody or like love is always like a huge inspiration. But especially this song, I wrote it because I remember. Oh, what's happening? But
There you go.
there we go. Um, yeah, like this song, I remember I wanted to like I wanted to fall in love. Like I think I wrote it like at the end of high school, going into college, and I felt that personally I had never like experienced love, and I wanted to fall in love. And then also a thing that happened during that time is that a cousin of mine, she was like 12, but she had like an eating disorder, and I I I tried to like, I don't know, like there was like this thing that I just wanted to like give her hope, or just like write about that, because I had never put myself into those shoes, and I wanted to try to, you know, write a song that obviously it is about like, you know, like inviting love to your life, but also a lot is like, you know, like just inviting that love is also inviting the love for yourself. So I don't know, it's a combination. So yeah, usually love is a huge inspiration, but also like the events that are happening in my life, beyond just my personal experience.
Have you found that you usually grow with each song that you write? I would obviously I would think so, right? But have do you feel more comfortable writing as you go along, or is it just the same evolving process for you?
I think it changes so much. Like there's never, I think, a right formula, because it's like when I started writing, it just like everything just like poured out of me, like the words, the music, everything. And right now, I kind of find it more difficult, also because I'm more. It's just I try to make it better, so it's just been
A lot more
um
pressure, maybe,
yeah,
on yourself.
and on myself, yeah, overall, like I just want to be better and make better songs, and now I'm way more picky than what I used to be when I started writing. But I do, like I recently wrote with somebody from Monterrey, and I was like really nervous because it was like virtually, like we were in WhatsApp video,
Mhm.
and I was like, how does this go on? Like I've never done it, but a song came out of it, and it was cool. So it's always like I'm always learning how to adapt. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something that it doesn't have a formula overall, and it's just, you know, like how and everything influences it, but at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, working hard to make it better and great.
And so the the other side of music is the performance, as we talked about earlier. But now you've opened some big shows. What has been your experience in opening shows? What was the biggest one that you felt like, wow, this is pretty cool? And obviously you've had your own shows with packed rooms and packed houses. But what's been your experience, your favorite experience about opening big shows and,
Opening
and
a
having
song.
and having shows? Yeah.
Yeah. So um one of the biggest ones, actually, right now, that I was talking about, like being at SDSU, one of the, like the biggest show that I think that I've opened, it was Gloria Trevi, and it was at
Mhm.
the Plaza
Open air.
Monumental
Oh, okay. Plaza
in
Monumental.
TJ.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people was, but it was. I remember I had like a test or something that week, and I was like completely concentrated on the, obviously, on the performance.
On the show, yeah.
And but it was huge. It was huge. It's always. I mean, right now, you get the experience and you know what to ask for, and how to plan stuff. But I remember in that show, like the management team of her, they were like really, I don't want to say rude, but they weren't nice. And it was just, I think you learn how to like cope with that,
Mhm.
and kind of like how to, you know, get around that. But up until probably the last shows that I opened, they've been like, I don't know if it was like, it was one of the first shows, like one of the biggest, at the beginning of this like era where I was like constantly performing. That experience was awesome, but I learned so many things that in the recent ones it has been like even better and greater, and I know how to, you know, like kind of like work through it. But yeah, that was one of the biggest. And then there was one, I'm thinking, well, in San Diego there was one with it was like a radio show, and it was also like awesome. They were like they were great also in like just like you know taking account that although I was like an independent a local artist, they were like really like incorporating me in the event. And I think that's also really nice. Like once, although my career, as you said, like I'm not that big, but it's just like really nice for like even like those levels, the welcoming, and also the people, the people were like they had listened to my song, so they kind of knew like, oh, I know that song. And it's just like it also experienced, it was like a combination of all those things that I think it just keeps growing. And it's pretty cool to just like like actually soak in those moments.
Yeah. Te mandan, we got some, I just want to say hello to some people that are joining us on our stream on YouTube. Jacobo, saludos a Monterrey. He says, saludos Giuliana desde Monterrey.
Ay, saludos a Jacobo en Monterrey.
So, arriba los regiomontanos, saludos, hi people from Monterrey. And we got a lot of people clapping, so we couldn't hear applause, but we have a lot of little clapping heads from your song. So, I want to ask you just one more question about performing, and then maybe you can share with us another song. But when you're performing, do you find that you lose yourself in the moment? What is that experience for you when you're performing? Because I know for people that are in the performing arts, either music or television or anything like that, once you're in that moment, the adrenaline kicks in, and then you just lose yourself, and you're just right there in the moment. How is that for you?
For sure. I think every performance is probably different as far as the nerves and all of that. I try to lose myself, but almost every time it's like I get like, I don't know, like I open, like when at the moment I open my eyes, or I like just realize that something is going on with like I can't hear my guitar or something like that, like something technical. I kind of lose it, but I try to like my I don't know, like my artistic or instinct side, it just comes out, and it's like, no, ignore it, just be in the moment, appreciate it, just put your heart out there. But then like the technical side is like, no, this is happening. We can't ignore it. We have to fix it. So it's always like a constant fight between my two sides of the brain. But like, especially as you said, like the adrenaline kicks in. There was this performance in January at the NAMM show. It's like a huge convention in Anaheim. And most of the people that attend to it are musicians, and they're like great producers or great musicians. And I was like super nervous because it was supposed to be an acoustic performance, and then like it ended up being a band performance, and we had it rehearsed probably in like 4 months. And I completely trust my band, but it was like, we're just doing it, and we are gonna trust ourselves. But the adrenaline, probably I had never felt it like that in like probably a year, that I wasn't that nervous. And you just have to, I think you just have to like like use it in your favor, and try not to lose obviously the tempo, because that's one of the things that happens, like you rush it. But I really enjoyed it, and it was like, because I'm not that like, I'm not in like a really energized performance. I think I'm like mellow. And in that show, I was like super like hyped up, and I was like, ah! So I kind of use it in my favor in that way.
Well, the NAMM is an awesome place to play, because like you said, there's so many producers, so many people in the industry, and usually when you're going to perform in front of your peers, anything that you do in front of your peers, it's a challenge. But I think you did great. I heard really great things about that performance. So just want to thank everybody for joining again. Would you do another song for us?
For sure. Yeah. Then, I had, there we go. Oh, I opened the video in my phone, because if I like open it in my computer, it was like, it froze. So I was like, oh, so I could see the comments. I'll sing. So we said No Soy Tu Baby for the
let's
last.
do one, and then let's do No Soy Tu Baby, the last one. Talk a little.
Uh,
We'll talk a little bit more about the message for the next song, but I want to
for
hear one
sure.
more song for everybody's giving you thumbs up and clapping. So I think
Nice.
they want me to shut up and they want you to sing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is Calor del Fuego. I don't know if to sing it half in English and half in Spanish because I have this also in English.
Go for
I
it.
didn't write it myself. Well, I had the help of a friend in English, but it kind of has the same message. So here it goes. El gris de California se acabó con tu naturalidad. Desde tu afán por las estrellas, las playas vestidas de arena, tu piel dorada y morena, evidencia de la belleza y tu imperfecta humanidad. Y conocer tu ideología, conocer tu anatomía, porque desde el primer día eres el calor del fuego y tus ojos son el mar. De lo que siento que conozco, los he podido contemplar. Y si es por tu ausencia, en la que me de inspirar, quizá con esta guitarra, ¿cómo explico cuánto te anhelo por amar? All the world wishes to live next to these waves, although I haven't learned to calm the winds of change. They laugh because they cry when I am soaking in the rain. I get cold with gentle breezes and I shake without control. Your embrace takes all the winter chills away. You're the burning heat of fire and the oceans in your eyes. But when I feel and know about you, there's so much to realize. And if your absence what it takes for inspiration to ignite, my guitar show you how I've been longing to fall into your love. Cuánto te anhelo. Eres el calor del fuego y tus ojos son el mar. Lo que siento que conozco, mas no he podido contemplar. Y si es por tu ausencia, en la que me de inspirar, quizá con esta guitarra, ¿cómo explico? Oh, eres el calor del fuego y tus ojos son el mar. Lo que siento que conozco, mas no he podido contemplar. Y si es por tu ausencia, en la que me de inspirar, quizá con esta guitarra, ¿cómo explico cuánto te anhelo por amar?
Awesome. Bravo, bravo, bravo,
Gracias.
bravo. Manitas, little hands from on YouTube, the Forever HD. Dice, sí, Calor de Fuego. También Jacobo, awesome. Jacobo Monterrey, también.
Qué lindo, qué lindo.
Awesome. What an awesome,
Thank you.
awesome song. There's so much emotion behind, the music that you write, and you could just, I'm so fortunate, so privileged to be able to be here and doing this with you, and I'm sure everybody else is enjoying it, hopefully in their homes, and I think this is bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people. So thank you so much for doing this. But
Ooh.
I do want to ask you a little bit, because I know that like we talked about, your music has, I think you've evolved, and it shows in the progression in your songs. I think the most recent, hit that you have, and on your single, I always, it's very powerful, and it
Mhm.
has a message. And you mentioned that you were somebody that wanted to have a message and maybe be a leader.
Mhm.
Um, Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I so the last pretty much the last two songs that I've released, which are Calor del Fuego and No Soy Tu Baby, um I kind of had in mind to say something about myself, of what I thought and what I stand for. And I remember like being a really, like when I was like young. I was like really, I don't know, my family was really not political, but they always used to have those talks in I don't know, family reunions, and I was
Yeah.
like always like putting attention, and I had this like, I don't know, like and I've always like, in especially with my music, since I started writing, I one of my goals was to like have some kind of a positive, you know, make some kind of positive change in the world with my music. And although my songs were like love songs and they were pretty and hopeful, I think it wasn't enough. I was like, I want to say something more about my life, especially like being somebody that, you know, grew up in both sides of the border. And with Calor del Fuego, although it's also like a love song, I wanted to have, you know, at least in the art that was going to go with the song, I wanted to portray that, like, I don't know, like I'm a border girl at the end of the day. And I kind of like with the music video, especially, I did put like a story, like, you know, like of a dad and his daughter, just like going to the, you know, going to see each other at the border, because it's something that usually, like, although like in the news you talk about it or anything like that, it's not always portrayed in well, right now probably more, but still, like, I wanted to say something about it. And especially with like, also No Soy Tu Baby is also a song that it kind of like, I had always thought about the I don't know, for me it was an issue like growing up and listening to some songs, and I was like, really, like you have to like talk about women and, you know, that this like and objectivize or sexualize women in that way. And it was always like a huge issue for me, like listening to some rap songs, and especially reggaeton. So I had always wanted to say something about it, and it kind of like just, you know, like one day I remember coming from the gym, and in the gym there was like so many songs like reggaeton, like probably I listened to Felices los Cuatro from Maluma like 3 times in a like 45 minutes. I was like, really? Can you change
Yeah.
the playlist? Like, and I just came home and just wrote everything that I felt. And I kind of did it with his lyrics too, like as an inspiration, and I just like flipped them. Because yeah, as you said, like I think if I'm going to, you know, like I know I can write songs, but if the way that I want to like um I don't know, like introduce myself into the world as an artist, what makes me special is the fact that, I don't know, like I'm really sure of what I stand for. And um one of the things is that, like, at least in um yeah, like putting myself out there, like at least in that, like the songs, and also all the women empowerment movement. And I think it was like, it was the time to just like throw that song out there.
Do you get any? What kind of reaction do you get from No Soy Tu Baby, which we'll hear in a couple of minutes? But what kind of reaction do you get? Do you get any pushback, or do you get any like negative reaction from being outspoken about, you know, sexualization and objective, you know?
I honestly, I thought it was going to be more aggressive and negative, but most of the, I mean, I'm not like that famous probably to get that much hate, but um, thank God, like it has been like a lot of people, like I've had comments that say like, finally somebody says something about it. Stuff like that. Like most of the things or the feedback has been like, oh, finally somebody talked about it, not talked about it, but because it's really, right now I think it is a like a topic that everybody talks about, but just like putting it in a song, probably it's not that it's not that common. And I think I've had like probably three or five, you know, like hate comments that say like, this is horrible. But overall it's been like good. I don't know, like good feedback. And as you said, like, well, I don't know if we started with that there was like an article probably like 2 weeks ago or one, and like this girl really like she like made like a beautiful article about like how that also was like kind of tied with also the march that we had in Mexico like a couple of weeks ago before all of this happened. And it was just like, it's pretty cool to see that also, like to see how like it also reflects not only in like what inspired me, which was like toxic lyrics and like misogynistic lyrics, but also like self-respect and just like yeah.
So are you excited for where you can go with, I think you continue finding yourself, and now that you found maybe like a really truthful and really genuine and just Giuliana in your music, are you excited for where you can go with that? Because I think you can go very, very far.
Yeah, I've never been so excited, honestly. And it's been, I mean, a combination of everything. Obviously, the music that I have released right now. I mean, what's coming, it's a little bit of both. It's like a little bit of also the love songs, but it has this, I don't know, this mm, talking about, like being conscious overall. And I think it's rarely talked about in music, but it makes me really excited about, like obviously the songs, but also how am I going to portray it's really exciting just to like, like think about it. And I don't know, it's gonna be a little different. I think the music that's coming, but overall I think they have a message. I'm a huge fan about having a message, so I think that's gonna keep happening. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, how about, and you got a couple more messages, says, of course you're famous. Somebody saying that yes, you are famous. Don't say you're not. Positivo Popero, that's another comment. So thanks everybody that's joining and
Nice.
sending your comments. How about we do one last song, your
For sure.
most recent single, the powerful song, for everybody, and
Yes.
we'll listen in one more time.
Okay. Yo ya no sé qué hacer cuando escucho tu voz, pues cada vez que hablas dices todo lo que no quiero que me hagas, ni cómo le vas a hacer. Solo quiero que aprendas a cómo hablarle a una mujer. Y si me voy es tu problema, huyo para no regresar. Si me voy, please, ya no vengas. Yo no me pienso quedar, no soy tu baby, tengo un nombre, tengo mente, identidad. Yo ya no quiero escuchar a alguien que no sabe amar, 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 no sabe amar, no sabe amar, alguien que no sabe amar. Vas a decir que estoy corriendo porque me voy con alguien más, pero no se te ha ocurrido que tal vez quiero descansar de tus reproches y chantajes, de tus palabras incompletas, de tus cuatros y tus ratos. Tu calentura no me interesa, y si me voy es tu problema, huyo para no regresar. Si me voy, please, ya no vengas, yo no me pienso quedar, no soy tu baby, tengo nombre, tengo mente, identidad, y hoy ya no quiero escuchar a alguien que no sabe amar, 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 no sabe amar, no sabe amar, alguien que no sabe amar. Si sin muchos como tú, se los digo en la cara, ni contigo ni con ellos, yo para eso no quiero nada. Yo que te pinten como Dios y des consejos a los niños de hoy, ídolo del momento. Hoy te digo adiós, hablas de mí como un juguete, como una perra del mar. Me describes como objeto, no me vengas a chingar. El psicópata misógino que se dice enamorar es el que ríe cantando de cómo no sabe amar. Y si me voy es su problema, huyo para no regresar. Si me voy, please, ya no vengas, yo no me pienso quedar. Yo soy tu baby, tengo nombre, tengo mente, identidad. Yo ya no quiero escuchar a alguien que no sabe amar. Y si me voy es su problema, y si me voy es su problema. No, no, alguien que no sabe amar, no soy tu baby, tengo nombre. Alguien que no sabe amar, no quiero escuchar. No soy tu baby, tengo nombre, tengo mente, identidad. Yo ya no quiero escuchar a alguien que no sabe amar.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Gracias.
Awesome, awesome. Giuliana, awesome performance. I think if you're out there listening to us and listening to the show right now, I just want to share how privileged I am to have just witnessed that live performance on social media. I feel special, and hopefully everybody out there that's on the stream appreciates it as well. Follow Giuliana, follow her on her social media. Can you give out your social media accounts so that people can follow?
Yeah. So I'm it's spelled a little different, but it's Giuliana Music. It's Giuliana Music all together in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, probably everywhere except TikTok because somebody else has it. But I'm not there yet. So yeah, you can find my music also in Spotify and Apple Music and all of the platforms. You can find me as Giuliana. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for your awesome questions. I never get asked so in depth. So it's just awesome to talk with you, and thank you so much for inviting me and sharing your audience.
Oh, the pleasure and the honor is mine. You're just such an interesting person with awesome music. And I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I want to thank also Rebecca Niebla. Rebecca, if you're out there, the hardest working woman in the business, in the region and elsewhere, she's awesome. So just want to thank her for the opportunity to have you. We appreciate her as well. Definitely going to come back on next Friday. Subscribe to Beto Gurmilan channel on YouTube. Every week, I'm going to try to have somebody awesome like Giuliana join me here live on Facebook and on Facebook and on YouTube and all this platforms. So please subscribe, help out, share it. Help me share Giuliana's talent so she can grow once the pandemic stuff is over. Giuliana, once again, thank you so much. Un abrazote, un beso y nos vemos pronto. We'll see you soon.
Claro que sí. Bye.
Ciao.